All right.
Okay.
So actually one more moment. All right, great. So welcome everybody to another edition of the Bionic Design Meeting. We host these once a week. This is, or once a month. This is an event that was started by Vivek, and he continues to moderate the space on the hub. I'll add the link in the chat. We've been hosting different leaders in bionics within the e-NABLE community once a month, and we're really excited to be hosting Esteban from Humanos 3D. Esteban is a bioengineer, and he's also the COO at Humanos 3D. He's been working with the organization since 2019, and he's started out as a volunteer and has worked his way into a full-time position. And over the years, he's been involved with several of the different designs and improvements with devices, including el Medallo, the robotic arm, and I'm probably going to say this wrong, but el Zephyr, the current transhumeral robotic arm project. Additionally, they've been involved with really inspiring mobile clinics. I think I'd love to hear more about that, but the outreach programs that they have, engaging with beneficiaries out in the countryside as part of the Raise Your Hand project. I think these are also things that take take a big portion of energy for an organization and really make a huge difference between a good idea and something that's really implemented well. So without further ado, pass it over to you, Esteban, and thanks so much for taking time to join us today.
Thank you for the introduction. Well, I'm right here with my team of engineers. They're just right behind of me. They're gonna be in the chat too for a little conversation. Well, sorry for my English, it's not so good, but I'm pretty sure that you're gonna understand the principal things. So just let me know if you don't understand something. Well, I'm gonna share the screen right now. I wanna show you a little of the projects that we are working on.
You should be a co-host, so you're all set.
Sure. Okay. Can you see now? Perfect. Okay. So yeah, we are right now Humanos 3D. We are right in Colombia, Medellin, where our slogan basically is just keep it in our hands, and we promise to give many more. You can find us in Instagram, on Facebook, and we have our web page too. So you can find a lot of information, all the things that we do with the recipients are gonna be there in the little link. Our team, we started with this project, actually was Adam since 2017. Was the only one with a lot of volunteers, and right now there is a big team. In 2022, we are growing up every single year, and right now we have help in administration with Alison, help with Lina in the topic of marketing and communication. We are working with volunteers from actually a lot of parts from all the world. And we have a group of interns too, that there are students from different universities that are working with us in different projects. Our principal projects, as you said, are the mobile clinics. In that one, we have the opportunity to travel to different municipalities from all Colombia, and we are delivering prosthetics to all those people that need it. We have a really good project with the mobile clinics because it's something that is really needed here in Colombia, because Colombia is one of the more affected for in these disabilities for anti-personal minds. Well, we are working with the people with disability and regain their independence and desire to integrate into society. So we are just not delivering devices. We are trying to develop a kind of work and integration with all these people. We have another project that is a course right now. is going to be called Raise Your Hand. It's going to be focused in 3D printing, 3D design, and robotics, where it's going to be more for kind of way to get a little money for the organization, and it's going to be free too for those kids or students that can have access to education. And well, the principal topic for we are going to talk today is more about innovation. We are going to talk a little about our robotics devices. It's going to be El Medallo, the Zephyr, and the new things with the Transhumeral Robotic arm. We have another project in innovation tools, just trying to looking for the needs that people always talking about. For example, to build a device for ride your bike, something for play the violin, and play the drum, use the drumstick to play the batteries, things like that. And we are gonna have focus here, principally in the robotic part. So as you can see, in 2017, we started delivering around 11 devices, then not too much. One second. Okay. So with the time, we see the needs principally in 2019. I had the opportunity to be volunteer for Humanos 3D. In that time was called e-NABLE Medellin. But like because the people that who we work is from different parts, difficult to, they don't speak English actually. So e-NABLE Medellin was, why is that? So we decided to change the name. So actually Humanos 3D have had a really good impact with the Colombian people. And we have the opportunity in 2019 to work in the first robotic arm called the Medallo here in Colombia. I'm gonna talk more detail a little later. And with 2020, we see the need with the pandemics and with all the problems that for the recipients to come to Medellin, we created the mobile clinics, and actually was really good for us, for all people, because right now we are delivering. You can see that we are really improving or impacting on in the deliveries of the prosthesis, and we are really making a change in Colombia. So it's more the more school projects. There is a lot of people involved working in that, like volunteers, and working with us in trying to deliver all those devices. Okay, so our devices, I was talking about the Zephyr. The Zephyr is device for a specific recipient. This guy has a kind of disease from he born with just a part of his hand, and he has a little finger in the stump. So the finger is really, he can move the finger so easily, and so we created this design. In this one, he just moving this finger, he can touch a little sensor, and with the sensor he can make the movement from grip to grip the things for this one. We have devices like El Medallo. This is the first open bionics arm in Colombia that is actually in English and Spanish, and is open source for everyone that wants to check a look at that and try to improve it and deliver to someone else. Something simple like just doing a fork for people that can't have a good grip with his hands, where is something so simple like do a fork bigger, or do a brush or a pencil, something like that. Is really useful for people that to hold it and try to have a really good work with that. And of course, the recipients are looking always trying to do something the daily work. So for example, like a write, to use a pencil. So as you can see here, there is this woman just trying to write in the paper. Is really cool because with something so simple like a little clip, and they can put the pencil here and they can start to write or training that kind of work. So with the robotic, El Medallo is called because we are already in Medellin. It was a work that was make it here in Medellin with a lot of volunteers from New Zealand, from Australia, from United States. It was a really good group of volunteers that year. I was there leading that team with Adam, and we have the opportunity to to deliver the first robotic arm here in Colombia. That was, as I can say, was open source and open and completely documented in English and in Spanish. And the best part is that it's low cost, so it's easy to people to donate that kind of prosthesis. So the Medallo is actually a little simple design in the electronic part, because we are using just an EMG sensor that is put in the arm, the upper arm, the recipient. And this is a particular case because he has no movement in his forearm, so he needed something else, because usually the mechanism that we use is for elbow mechanism. So for this guy, this guy was called Brian, and we started to create the first robotic arm for him. So it's just an EMG sensor. When he sent the signal to the sensor, just the muscle send the signal to a little Arduino here, an Arduino Beetle that is already here, and then the Arduino just change the muscle sign, the biological signal to electronic signal. And then there's a couple of motors that are gonna do two kind of grips, a power grip and a soft grip for, yeah, like just for small things. So that was the first device that we delivered. With the feedback with Brian, we saw that the principal problem was like he has a short stump, so for him it's a little heavy for him to have to use the devices. So that was the first thing that we tried to change in the future. We tried to change later to use just one motor, to use later less things, to distribute the motors in different parts, so in that way he can use it better. In his feedback, he told us that, well, he's using it like a couple of hours in the day, every single day, and it's difficult for him to use it in the work because he's always working in a desk with a laptop, so it's not easy for him to use it there because the limitation in the fingers. But he loved it, and he's already working with us in the new design that we are working on. So it's really cool. It's like, because our recipients or beneficiaries are like a volunteers too. They are always there trying to work with us. So basically, we just take a scanner from the stump, and from there we just start to use the design from Jackie Buchanan, the Kawabu socket. From that, we just started to redesign, to change the design to fit the motors, to fit all the electronic stuff there. Was a really cool design. I was checking in the e-NABLE hub that you have already another version from the Kawabu socket. It's a really cool one. We already printing one here, and it's much better to assemble. So with that Kawabu, we could find an option to do it a much better robotic arm, easier to assemble in that way, because maybe the tricky part was more in the hand of the part, or the hand of all the robotic arm is the most tricky part. But basically, it's a really simple design and easy to use for the recipient. So when we saw the Medallo was a little heavy, and we start to find with a lot of recipients with a short stumps or with a transhumeral amputation above the elbow. So we saw the need, we saw like a kind of opportunity to work with them and trying to change the design for something better than that. This is the Zephyr with a little more explaining here. As you can see, the kid has a really short stump here, and like I said, he has a little finger in the stump, in the end of the stump. So with this finger, he's just touching a little sensor here, and with the sensor, there is a little motor that's gonna grip the things. So was a really good start with this little kid. He loved it because he wanted to personalize it like Batman. So there's a little LED with that he knows that his target is if it's on or off. We are working with him because he really needs is to try to have a good movement here because this part is fixed. There is no movement in the elbow, so it's just gonna be a device that have a kind of grip with a motor. So the next challenge with this kit that's called Martin is just to create another device that was more easy to change the movement with that. This is the Zephyr, and this is maybe one of the more study project that we have been since the last year. We are working on what is a Transhumeral Robotic car. We are starting with around 2 recipients, trying to create this device for them. This device is based to just in 4 buttons and every single button is gonna have a different movement in the hand. This one have 3 motors. Actually, is not so heavy. It's easy to use for the recipient. And we are studying right now the kind of socket that we should use for have a really cool adaptation to the arm to the recipient. So this is a project. We are here with the engineering team from Human 3D2. So they are going to talk a little more about this project. Is one of the things that we are thinking in the future for this project to try to work in the socket, to improve the buttons, try to work with another kind of systems. We are now working more with the EMG sensors because was not so easy. We work with them. They are a little expensive, and well, they are not. They are really noisy with them, with all the wind or with the skin, and every single stone is so different. So with the EMG, we are trying to looking for another ways because could be easier for the recipient to adapt to that too. Because when it's more simple, the recipient usually prefer it. So here I leave you with the guys, Francisco and Victoria, and they're gonna talk a little more about this project. Sorry.
Hello, we are. Hello, we are Victoria and Francisco.
I think if Esteban turns the sound down on his computer. And if you guys unmute.
Sorry. Hello, we are Victoria and Francisco. We study biomedical engineering at AI University, and now we are interns here in Human 3D. And the idea is continue with the work with the robotic hand. So, like Esteban said, the project is since last year, and we have to improve the electronic part, the design part, and other things, because the main the robotic hand is from Javier and Estefania. They both has transhumeral amputation, so we have to improve the design. And for example, here we have the Estefania prosthesis, and it can move the elbow with this motor, and also have a different design because it's a little smaller device, and works with 3 motors to move those two fingers and the thumb.
So we are basically having some issues with first the movement of the elbow, because as you can see, this one is moved by a small servo motor, because we can put a big motor here because it's for a little kid. So we have to design something that makes the movement and has the strength to make it without breaking. Other things that we have to consider are the power source, because given all the engines that it has, it needs a lot of current. And when we use small batteries, as we need it to be of little cost, it can tend to not move not so smoothly. That was what happened with the previous design. So we designed another one with some differences in the electronics part, and check it out first with just the buttons and just the hand to see if it could move, as we can see right now. This is right now the design that we are working, the prototype, and there's the hand, the big hand, and when we turn it on, it moves to the start position. Always starts in that position. So we press the button and it closes to kind of a clamp grip, as you could say, and another button, sorry, to release the hand. And also we can check that if we turn it off and turn it on again without pressing any button, it always starts with the first grip. So this is the first part that we are working on, and our main goal is to make another engine for the elbow to be able to open it and close it, also with the electronics, or if we can, we will check if it could be better if we use a mechanical part for the elbow because of the current consumed. And the use of a development board such as the ESP32 that we're using is based on the wireless connections that it has via Bluetooth and via Wi-Fi. So we kind of hope that we can use this device to make connections like controlling it from the cell phone or something like that in the future. First, we need to check this out, and if everything works, we can consider these options.
So basically, that's what we are working here. You can, all those prototypes are documented in GitHub. We are using GitHub for all the information for those devices. And well, here you can see like what I'm saying with Zephyr, this is going to be the socket. The little kid, Martin, is going to put the forearm here. And then there is a little button that I'm going to just share a screen here to show you the little part. Wait a second. Right. Here you are. And then, so this is the design that we have here for the Martin, the Zephyr. So it's really simple. And here, this is like the little things that we need in the electronics, only a battery, a motor, and Arduino Vidor, a small Arduino for adapted to the system, and just a touch button. So the kid was touching the sensor, and when he touched it, was doing the movement of the gripping the things with that one. That's the project. And we was working too in 2019 with another prototype that was the ultrasound device, but there was a little problem with that one, and that is that it's not so easy for the recipient to use it. was for people that was blind or that they can see really good at things. So it's working with an ultrasound sensor and just a little vibration motor. So when he's closing to something, he just feel the vibration and he knows that it's gonna be close. So it's like a beep, 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 beep when it's close to some object. The thing is that for a recipient, it's not easy to identify where are the things because he's not feeling the thing. He don't know he's touching it. He just feel the sound. But we are looking for how to improve that because he need to touch the thing and he actually doesn't know. He just feel the vibration, but he's not sure if he's gonna be really close to the object. He can grip it here. So we are trying to work in that. This was a really good option in 2019, but we saw that for people that with disability in the eyes, where was not so useful. So we are looking for how could improve this kind of devices. That is a result of it's something that we can see how could improve. It's tricky because it's not so easy to try to the recipient find like a real sensation here just with this kind of prosthesis. So that was an adaptation from the limited hand, as you can see in the picture, but there is a lot of things that we need to improve in that one, for example. I think that basically that is the projects that we have working on in the robotic devices for now. And actually, with the transhumeral, we are looking for like one say we are looking for just not to use the other hand for activating the arm. We are looking for trying to work with kind of system of communication with artificial intelligence. We think that our future project is just to find a way that when people say, I don't know, close arm, the arm is gonna close, open arm, the arm is gonna open, and it's something that it could be really useful for the recipient, and it's opportunity for them to try to find a way to use the hand easily. Stop share here, and this is another system of the transhumeral amputation. So for the last one is for a little kid. So we were using a kind of motor, or for this one we are using another system of movements. I don't remember the name of this right now. In English, I mean, this is a piston in Spanish. So this is just that it's gonna be longer, and when it's longer, it's gonna move the elbow, and then when it's gonna go back to short, so it's gonna move the elbow in the flexion and extension position. So we are working right now in a kind of socket for that. We are gonna check in like the best way to use the socket for the recipient. We were trying to use like a kind of I don't know if you know them. It's a kind of Chinese trump that when you use it in the fingers, you put it here, you try to close from that. So that was a kind of idea that we have in the past. We still think that it's useful, but with the recipient that tested, the problem is that he feels still like a kind of sensation in the stomach with this little electric shock, something like that when he touched something really when he feel the compression. So we are trying to change it for like kind of a kind of back. So he's gonna put the back, and he can, in that way, he can feel the forearm, the upper arm free. So that's like our future projects, and that's what he's doing right now at Human 3D.
Well, it's an incredible amount of work that you guys have put in, and a long time and commitment of development. So thanks so much for sharing that with us. Maybe I'll open up the floor before I ask any of my own questions. Alberto, do you have any questions or comments for the team?
No question. It was really interesting and great work. Thank you.
Very cool. Couple quick questions that I had. So I know that I've seen your posts on the Lumio platform before, and you guys have gotten some support. How has that worked for you, and which early projects were connected to Lumio, and what were your experiences like?
Right, more than Lumio, I try to contact like the owners or the devices. For example, when I have a kind of a question about the Kawabu or about another of the devices unlimited, where I have been in touch with Nate Monroe, trying to improve the Kawabu design and to understand how this works, because in the beginning, there was no documentation like how to assembling. So I was always trying to look in Lumio and in the enable hub all the information for all that. And the same with the I saw that the same with the Pop Paraguay. I'm talking with Pop Paraguay, but because we are interested in the transhumer hand that they're using, we see that they use it for specific recipients, and for actually the thing in Colombia is the stumps here in the arms of the recipients are really they are not so natural. So sometimes we need really to change the designs a lot, because they're just don't adapt to the standard design that exists right now. And actually we dream to have our own leg or our leg too in working that. So it's really cool what Poparawa is doing in that way, because they are delivering already legs to the people. So we know that this is a really another tricky job. It is more important to see all the problems that could have to deliver a leg. But we see that actually it's a really big need here in Colombia. So we know that we need to start to work it out with 3D printing. And well, Lumio actually, I would like to take a little look up for all the projects that you are working, and try to see what is new, and then from there to see how could we work with that. I'm not sure if Adam was sharing all the information here of all the things that we are working on. We already using Thingiverse and like I said, GitHub for all the documentation of the kind of devices that we are working. For example, for the last one, that is the transhumeral arm. So we are still like a kind of testing, developing in a brainstorm. So for now it's not like open source, because we already have no documentation specific about this. So we are just like playing with this and until we have something better.
And is the goal to make the current design open source when it's ready?
Sorry?
So the current design is not open source? I know the first one was.
Oh, open source right now is all the other one, like el Medallo, el Zephyr, and the ultrasounds arm. But for this one, it's not still open source, because it's not documented. We are still working in documentation, so for now it's not so open. But actually we are working with a lot of designs that are open source. We are just playing with the designs and trying to change it to fit the motors, to fit all the electronics there.
Very cool. And it looks like you guys have had, what from your earlier slides, 179 recipients, which is quite a lot, and more in the last few years. How has the pandemic impacted the work that you guys do, and how has it changed your process? I mean, definitely, I imagine there's a greater need for community for folks with limb difference, but probably less resources.
Right. Yeah. Well, 2020 was a really weird year, as you know. It's something really ironic with Humanos 3D, because in that year that we were not able to go outside, so it was actually the year that we went to more places in all Colombia, because in the pandemics was when we created the idea to have mobile clinics, because the recipient couldn't get to the office for all the restrictions. They couldn't get to until Medellin, and we saw that the pandemic was like the final thing that giving us the decision, make the decision. And well, the things that we were delivering like only 10, 20 devices in the year 2017, 2018, and in 2020, we saw that we were helping to people with the cost, with the hotels, with alimentation, with all the travels for community here on the organization. And we just saw that this is not possible to help to all these people to come in here. So we create this idea, the more clinics, and we have the opportunity to contact to Fundación Viva, that is like a kind of airline, okay, airline, and they have their own foundation. And where they see what we do here, they come to the office and they say this is awesome, and they say okay, we want to help with the mobile clinics, and was a really good beginning from a really good project, because they are helping us with all the travel. So every single travel that we have to another city, they help us with the travels in the plane. I mean, if the plane is coming to that kind of that places, and with that we have a really opportunity to grow up with these grants that that Viva gave to us. So we could start this project mobile clinic. We start to deliver we started with 20, and when we started with we continue with 60, with 100, and this year we have like 300 persons waiting for a prosthetic, and we want to deliver like around to 140. So actually, there is a lot of people here that needs a prosthesis. The problem in Colombia is that nobody knows, because we are start talking with the health secretaries, with the mayors from different cities, and we asking, okay, what is the number of disability in your city? They don't know. So we are trying to change that. We want to open the eyes to the people here in Colombia that see that all these people need a prosthesis. These people can't have they can't have access to the prosthesis because the health system, well, it's not so good here in Colombia. The state is not helping to these people. They don't know that they exist. So we are trying to change that here with this project. It's a really challenge. Colombia have strong for a lot of problems with the war, with the corruption. So we are just trying to do the best. We are working with different health secretaries from different cities. We are working with mayors. But you know how is this? Some people just want to have the moment is that we are in a year that in elections for president and for different mayors. So sometimes they just use this project just for more visibility in the campaigns. So it's not so easy to know who is trustful and who not. But we know the recipient is the most important thing that we have here. So we are always trying to do the best in that way. We always have a good intentions, and that I think that's the most important. And we are always trying to have a really good feedback with the recipients, not just to deliver the prosthesis. Just we want to know what happened later of that.
No, that's a great point, and it's something that I think is a big challenge for many chapters. Jeff Buchanan had a presentation earlier today in the town hall meeting, and he talked about the work that teams like you guys are doing. Specifically, he mentioned Humanos 3D and the teams in Colombia, and it takes 80% of the energy and effort and commitment to do the work on the ground. You can come up with the design, but getting it out there is really a hurdle. It's a challenge. A couple quick questions in terms of some of the challenges that you guys identified. it looked like the early designs were a little bit heavy. What is the weight of the new design, and how does it compare to the earlier iterations?
Right. The thing is that because we are using like two motors, big motors, and they are well not distributed. They were not in a good position. They were really far from the stump, so he feel it really heavy. So what we're doing is to move it in the first place, not just using not put the motors here, put it a little close to the stump, so it's easier to the recipient to use it. We were using in the second version of the Medallo, we were using just one motor because we say, well, with just one grip, you can do the same with two grips. So we remove another motor. And with the transhumeral, the thing is that we are not using so much things. So we are not using the EMG sensor. So there is no more cables. There is easy. It's just with a little button. So with button is really the buttons. They are not heavy. So we are using just better motors, small motors in the part of the hand. And this is really helpful right now. There are. Do you remember the weight of these are? The weight, the person. It's less than 1 kilogram, probably. Because we were looking documentation where actually a hand, I mean a real hand is around like 2 or 3 kilograms. So we think that is really light in that way. The thing, and when I started, we use a really good harness. It's gonna be easier for the recipient use it because with the strap that we was thinking for the stump, it's not gonna be. It's not easy for the recipient to have all the weight in the arm. So we are trying to use it for all the back, and it's not gonna be so heavy. And we tested with a little kid of 9 years old. The best feedback is from a kid, and she said that it's not heavy. She said that, oh, it's cool. We are still testing with the kid because it's not easy to fit all the electronics with someone so small, but with just the weight, we see that it's really light for the recipient.
Great. And the sockets are something that you guys are still developing, sort of some kind of a compression socket. I added a link in the chat for Jack Buchanan's presentation from earlier today. He's going to join us next week. I think it'd be really wonderful if you guys are able to join next week. It's at the same time as this meeting at 1 p.m.
Okay.
He's going to go over the new Kwawu design, but boy, it would be awesome to look at the changes that you guys have had to make for the Bionic and share it with him. So I'll share a link to that in the chat for you guys as well.
Yeah, I was talking with Jack Buchanan too. We thought that this meeting will be the last week, but I think that there was a problem with the schedule. So yeah, we were waiting. Okay, it's next Friday. That's cool. So yeah, probably we're gonna be there. Yeah, we were waiting for that.
Okay, so I'll add that link in. Awesome. I'm trying to think if there's any other questions that I can ask you guys, but anybody that watches these videos, if you want to add in your email address, some links, especially if you have any materials or publications like news articles in Spanish, I'd love to be able to share those in the hub. My Spanish is poco poquito. It's not so good these days, but I think there's been a ton of just really inspiring projects in Latin America, in Peru, in Paraguay, in Mexico, and you guys are contributing for a long time with the Bionic work, which is awesome.
Yeah, of course. We always want to share of this. I think that one of our principal problems that we have in humanity is that sometimes we do really cool things and we sometimes just don't know how to communicate it. We don't have like all the information, or there's something happen and no one see it. So we are trying to work in that and try to share everything in an easy way for everyone.
Great, that's awesome. And it sounds like you guys have have done some collaborations or had conversations with Paraguay. Are there any other teams in Latin America or leader volunteers that you've been working with? Anybody to look out for out there?
Not really. We are not working with with someone specific. We know some. Yeah, it's just that there are no volunteers. I mean, we are working in sometimes with another people like a Más Capacidad and Prótesis Avanzadas. They are like enterprises here in Medellin that work with prosthesis too. And we sometimes we just talk with them to try to have feedback, to say the way to work together. But you know, there are enterprises, so they are no more like they are just selling the hands. They have really good arms, so I recommend to take a look to them. Más Capacidad, they working with really aesthetic hands, and Prosthesis Avanzadas, they are working with robotic hands.
And I imagine that you're the only ones that are doing open source work.
Yeah, yeah. There is another one, I think it's called Fabri Labs in Bogota. I haven't communicated with them, but I know that they do it. They work with 3D printing, they donate prostheses, but it's more like a student business. Like, I mean, like when someone needs, they contact them and they help them. But I think the Humanist 3D is the only one that is like a full-time work in that. I mean, every single day we are working in the organization. We already have actually only two workers, I mean, paid, and we are there's, I mean, all the things that we do here is thanks to the volunteers, the interns, and all the people that's interested in the project. So we are trying to work in that, to have the opportunity to have more grants with different enterprises. That's another challenge too, to get the funds for the organizations. Because like I say, it's a full-time work. So actually we really need to expand. We really need to do our best work, because as you can see, there is a lot of projects. There is a lot around, I don't know how many right now. So actually we need more stuff in that way. If we really want to advance with these projects.
Very cool. Yeah, and there's the lower limb work opens up a whole new playing field of people that need help. And I know there's some chapters in the Dominican Republic, some teams in the Dominican Republic that are really working hard to create long waiting lists, but they don't yet have the capacity to do production locally. So it could be some great partnership opportunities for you guys for the future, for sure.
Of course.
Awesome. Well, Esteban, thank you so much for your time and for your team to join us today. Any last things to share or links that you'd like to put in the chat for people to check out?
Well, no, actually, I just would recommend watch our Instagram. We are like arroba at Humanos 3D. We are in Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and anything, everywhere. So Instagram is where you can see a lot of our works, and in GitHub we are like Humanos 3D too. So just look GitHub Humanos 3D, and you're gonna find a lot of work of all of us. And of course, if you need more information, you don't find something about us, just asking me in my mail to ingeniería, like engineers, at Humanos 3D, and we can answer all the questions that you need. Or you just can chat in Instagram and Facebook. We are gonna answer from there. So awesome.
Perfect. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks so much, and we'll be hearing from you guys soon, and hopefully see you next week in the presentation with Jacques Buchanan as well.
Yeah, of course, I will be there. And yeah, I hope to have this opportunity with you well, más seguido, concurrently, because I think that we can share a lot of ideas for the next projects. So I don't know if you maybe have like a kind of general a general meetings. When you start talk about it, I would like to check all the information and the opportunity to have to be in those meetings, and to give my feedback, because as you can see, we have delivered a lot of prostheses, and with every single recipient, we have a really good feedback that we could improve in that way, that we could improve the devices for e-NABLE.
That'd be awesome. And yeah, we're definitely looking for teams like you guys that can work within the region and support collaborations across Latin America. Thanks so much for your time, and I'll send you guys a link. We have a meeting once a week, so that would be perfect.
Okay, perfect. We'll see you there.
Great.
Okay, thank you for your time too.
All right. See you later, everybody.
Bye.